Hi, my name is Kevin Lee. In this video, I will demonstrate how I use some of Optionvue's unique features to trade and analyze options. Specifically, I'll talk about the R column, the classification column, and the spread window. Alright, let's first start by looking at the R column. Now, suppose you have a M3 butterfly that looks like this. There is a gamma delta issue on the upside that you would like to fix. But there are various ways you can achieve this. Perhaps you could move 5 lots of the shorts up by 20 points. You flatten the T plus 0 line. Delta looks good. Theta looks reasonable. Or you may say, yep, I want to do, but I want to just do 10 points instead of 20 points and use twice as many lots as the previous one. The T plus 0 line looks similar. Delta looks similar. And theta vega looks pretty good as well. Or you may want to do something like this. Shift in the right leg of the butterfly instead. Again, you achieve a similar looking T plus 0 line. Or maybe you say, nope, I could do something as simple as just adding a call. They'll achieve something similar from a delta perspective, and the other Greeks all look reasonable as well. And the T plus 0 line looks reasonably similar. So in a backtesting environment, these are the type of different analysis, what-ifs analysis that I like to do on different adjustments. Now using the R column in Optionvue, I will be able to do this type of analysis quite efficiently. Let me show you. So first of all, if you were to open the T plus 0, the T log, you will see an R column. I've assigned the value 1 to the original position. Now if I were to add an adjustment like that, okay, convert it, I can actually assign it a different value like that. Let's say A. Okay. Okay. Or I can do the second adjustment, which is this. Okay. Nope. This. Okay. I can convert it. Now I call it B. Okay. Or I can kick in the upper long leg, convert this, and now I call it C. Okay. Or I can do this simple adding of a call, and now I call it D. So now, depending on which one that you would like to analyze, which hedge or adjustment that you would like to analyze, you will just convert the alphabet back into the number 1. So if I want to analyze this, I would do this. Boom. This is the first adjustment. Or I can do this. This is the second adjustment. Right? So it makes it really convenient. Whichever that adjustment that you like to analyze, just change the R column value, and it will work even if you step forward. Like for example, I step forward a few more days. Okay, so now this is the situation. I can say, alright, what if I didn't do this adjustment, but this adjustment instead? How does it look like? Or, nope, I want to see how I did if I were to just buy a call. This is the situation. And I can even do this. Now, if I want to see what is the uh, adjustment on its own, I can do this. I can just keep clicking different alphabet. I will be able to analyze how each of the adjustment behave over time. So this is a great feature that I like to use both in my real-time trading as well as my backtesting, especially in backtesting, because I can learn a lot by isolating the adjustments and study it over time. As I step through time, I can look at the Greeks, I can look at the shape of the T plus zero. I use this R column feature a lot, almost on a daily basis, to help me do analysis. The only issue that I find with doing that is it's a bit tedious to have to go into the T log and make changes to the R column value. It will be much easier if we are able to do multiple selection here. Suppose if there is a checkbox next to each of the value, and I can do combination. For example, I can check on one, which is the main position, and I can check on another value like A, which is the adjustment. Or if I uncheck A, I check on B, that will be the second adjustment. Or I can do multiple combination, one A and C, for example, depending on the scenario. That will be extremely useful for doing what if analysis, especially in the backtesting environment. So I've sent this off to Optionvue as suggestions. I haven't heard back from them yet. And I have also made that same suggestions in Capital Discussion Forum, in the Optionvue forum. I've done this multiple selection for R column values. I've seen six people, 6 votes that find this feature useful. If you find this feature useful as well, please come to this post, like this post, as well as vote yes here. If we gather enough interest, perhaps we can get Optionvue to implement it. Now let me show you another type of analysis that I frequently do using the R column. What you see here is a double butterfly configuration. This is a configuration that I frequently end up with, starting with an M3 and then adding on additional butterfly. So if you were to look at this configuration, the Greeks looks reasonable. The fly looks reasonable, T plus 0 looks reasonable. But the question is, what about the individual butterflies and individual components? Do they all look reasonable? The one way to know that is to put in a trade here like that. This is the lower butterfly. I want to know whether the lower butterfly Greek still looks reasonable. Then I will have to click trade here to isolate it. Then I'm looking at the Greeks for the individual butterfly and the graph of the individual butterfly, the lower butterfly. But this is kind of cumbersome. So I discover I can do the same thing by using the R column. So I will go into the T log. I will go into individual butterfly. Let's call the lower butterfly 1 and call the second butterfly 2. See, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. And the deep in the money call, let's call it 3. So in this way, I will be able to isolate individual components. When I click all, I'll be looking at the total position. If I click 1, that will be the first butterfly. Click 2, that will be the second butterfly, and then 3, that will be the deep in the money call. You'll be able to see the Greeks as well as the P&L for individual components. Now sometimes I even want to know for a particular butterfly, how does the individual spread look like? Because sometimes a individual spread may not make sense even though the butterfly looks reasonable. Let me give you an example. Now this one, let's look at the lower butterfly. Since it's so far away, my question is the lower spread. Does it still have enough power, or does it still make sense? So the lower butterfly is the first butterfly. So what I have to do here is to change the shorts to 5 contracts, and I have to actually create another one, convert it. So I have got now 1220. I've got I have to call it 111. So I've got 4 legs. 2 legs for the lower spread and 2 legs for the upper spread. So let's call the lower spread, let's say it's 1170 and 1220. Let's just call it A and A. Okay, let's give it an alphabet. Now, if I were to now look at A, I'm looking at the lower spread. Then I can analyze, does it really make sense? What I'm seeing here is that there's actually quite little upside for me. The upside protection is not a lot. There's still some theta, but it is not much theta. The theta delta ratio is quite weak and a lot of downside. So I can then answer the question of whether this particular spread of the lower butterfly, does it still make sense? So if it doesn't make sense, then I may want to make an adjustment, maybe shift it up like this. Take this off, shift it up, and then do something to the upside. Okay, so I'm just showing you how usually I do analysis. I like to break a complex position down into its parts, and the R column facilitates that kind of analysis quite conveniently. All right, let me show you another very useful feature. If you open the T-log, you notice there is a column here called class, which is classifications. The value of this pull-down menu can be self-defined. To define the values here, click on this button. Essentially, you can put in any names that you want as classifications. The way that I use this feature is I split a trade like an M-tree into different parts. Like for example, I've got a butterfly, deep in the money call, the right leg adjustment, the short leg adjustment, and the left leg adjustment. And at the bottom here, I've got different parts of a iron condor. The call credit spread, put credit spread, call hedge, put hedges. Anything that you want. It's just text that you can put in there as classifications. Let me show you how it can be used. So what I have here in this account is a backtest of a very simple no-touch condor starting from the beginning of this year. What I've classified here is I assigned for each of these option a classification name. Like this is a credit spread, this is part of the call credit spread, and this is part of a put credit spread. So once you have defined that, you will be able to use it in the reports. So this report here it shows the how the iron condor perform on a monthly basis. You see that it is profitable every month except the last month. Since we have defined the classification just now into puts and calls, I can also filter it by, let's say, put credit spread. Now I can see that the put side is the one that caused the loss in the last month, whereas the call credit spread was profitable the whole year. So as you can see, if we can split our strategy into different parts, we will be able to analyze the effectiveness of each of the part. For M3, for example, you'll be able to look at how well the deep in the money call performed, how much the butterfly gain in value. I also like to track if I were to make adjustment at the short leg or at the right leg or left leg, how each of the adjustment do over a period of time. So I feel that this feature is quite useful both in real-time trading as well as in back testing, especially in back testing, I think, because I like to look at how different parts perform over a long period of time. So during back testing, I will be able to play with what ifs. What if I continuously make this type of adjustment, how that would perform over a period of time. So that's all for this feature. All right, let me show you one last feature that I use very frequently in Optionvue. Let's suppose I need to buy a butterfly. What price should I buy at? I cannot just look at the mid price because mid price, as those who have traded butterfly a lot knows that it jumps around very frequently. So I cannot use that as a basis for pricing. What I usually have to do is to have three versions of the butterfly open up like this: the put version, the call version, and the iron version, and compare their prices. They are synthetically equivalent, therefore they should have the same price, but sometimes they don't. Example here, I've got a put butterfly at 11.15 and call butterfly at 10.75. So it seems like the call is cheaper. I will not then just put in an order for 11.15. The iron equivalent butterfly here, you need to take a 50 minus this 39.1 in order to get a debit equivalent price for the iron version. So this is fine and good for pricing the balanced butterfly, but for uneven butterfly, a broken wing butterfly, let me show you this. This technique doesn't work anymore. I've got a broken wing butterfly here. These two are equivalent. However, their prices are very different. So I can't rely on this method, but I can go to Optionvue and open up the spread window. I would go to the spread here and create a butterfly. Let me see, boom, boom, like that. And then put your cursor here and create. So I've got a put broken wing butterfly, and I would do another one, clear the position, another one for the call side, 1180 and then 1080. Okay, now I've got them side by side. They are synthetically equivalent. The prices, the market prices of these two butterflies are different, but the time premium should be similar. This is where you can compare. And in this instance, the call side has got a more negative number. It means that you are receiving more time premium. Negative means receiving, so it's to your advantage. It means that this price, the market, the debit that you are paying is cheaper than the debit that you are paying for the put side. So this is a good way to compare synthetic equivalent spreads. It can be any spreads, not just butterfly. It can be ratio spreads. It can be four-legged spreads, whatever. So it's a very useful tool. You can compare not just the time premium, but they also have the theoretical prices and all the Greeks here as well. So I use this feature quite a lot to help me price my entry, as well as when I'm back testing, I will have spread window open as well as I step through the dates to see how the Greeks of each of this spread changes. So I guess that's all I have to show. I hope you like this this video. Thank you.